So this is how your Android project will usually look like, and you should get familiar with this kind of workspace. So this I have opened a project in the Android Studio, and this video is about creating different layouts and supporting multiple devices. So basically you can support multiple devices in a variety of ways, starting with approach for supporting multiple devices. So this is an image from the official Google documentation for Android, and it says that you may also use fragments. Fragments is basically a kind of a sub activity, but does not have the whole privilege as of a sub activity. So you can use different fragments, and you can define layouts as follows. So for example, if a person is using a mobile phone, then you can detect that he is using a small device, so it does not have a large screen, and you can load only one fragment at a time to either display list of item and the content in separate fragments. But if a person using a device, then you can display the list fragment and the content displaying fragment at the same time. This can be used by specifying different layouts for tablets and small devices, and also for specifying different layers for different widths, and detecting whether to display the fragments on a tablet or on the handset mode in runtime. So when you will see this res folder, which is your resource folder containing all your resources, then you can see many differences for supporting different type of devices. So when you can just left click on it and click show in explorer, which will take you to here. Now here you can see that there are different type of resources. For example, there's a drawable, map, layout, values, and so on. You may also specify different type of values for different type of languages in the I18N, which is a commonly used worldwide short internalization editor, which you can specify. So you can, rather than using hard-coded strings, you can specify a string name and a string here, and then you can use the translation editor as shown here for editing the string for different languages. And then you should not use the strings hard coded in your main Java files or layouts, rather you should get the string from here. If you are using a layout, you can use the r.string, the string name, and in the Java active file you can use the get system resources.get string and then get the string accordingly. So now moving on, in the res folder you can define multiple folders such as drawable, which is the normal folder, drawable HDPI. So if the Android runtime detects that the device is supporting HD screens or has HD screens and supports HD pictures, then rather than taking the resources from here, it will take the resources from the HDPI folder. So basically you can also use qualifiers which are in the folder names. So basically qualifiers tell that in which condition they have to be used. So the first Android looks for the resource name dash qualifier and the folder name of a particular resource subfolder, and then if it is unable to locate of a specified qualifier, it lines back to the default layout. So I have defined the default layout for activity cal, that is one of my activities which is present in this calculator, which we will be building on later on here. But if it finds, as you can see here, then I have added layout dash land, where dash is a separator for the qualifiers. Now here land refers to the horizontal mode, so I have defined in the layout land folder different XML files belonging to the different layouts that will be used if the device is rotated to the horizontal mode. So this layout will be used instead of the default layout specified in the layout folder if it is horizontal mode of Android. Similarly, you can define layout large, which has to be used for tablet devices. Then you can also do layout dash then W, which is the width, and 820 dp, which will be used for specific devices with specific density pixels, which is the full form of dp. Then also you can use map HDPI, that is HD pixels, medium pixels, small pixels, then smaller, and then finally very small pixels, which value of each, and you can access the same by r.mipmap.the file name. That's the here it's the IC launcher. Then you can also specify different values even for different widths, such as I specified the values dash w820dp different widths. So you can use the qualifiers, and a list of these qualifiers are available at the official Android site, but you should use the qualifiers mentioned here, and you will be using them the most. You can also use a new strategy, that is to hide up the action bar when needed. so that to accommodate contents in smaller devices and gain more space. This was all about adding different type of resources for different type of layouts and supporting multiple devices with different widths and the different modes. So see you in the next Android tutorial for more Android programming.